So junglers all have different styles. Once you start playing, you'll quickly realize that you can play the game pretty much however you would want. And there's so many of them that you can mix and match, create your own, and we're gonna give some examples of those, such as the cheeser or the perma farmer, and those are styles that might suit you, and pick whichever one you like and create your own.
Junglers all have different styles. You can mix and match, create your own, break the meta, or follow suit from your favorite players. So here are some of the more common styles. See which one fits you and give it a go. The cheeser. This style is the embodiment of high risk, high reward. This style is incredibly snowbally, although it requires a supreme amount of understanding of the game and guts, showcased by unpredictable jungle routes and ganks with relentless aggression. The key to success with this style is quick pathing to maximize the time you have to be in the opponent's face. You never want to stay in one place with this style. Trademark plays are level 2 solo invades, level 2 ganks, level 3 ganks, routes without buffs, and a complete lust for killing the enemy team. Constant invading for all camps and a willingness to fight the opponent at all times is crucial. This style works best with all winning matchups, as the opposing lanes will be unable to help the enemy jungler we're aggressed on, and will minimize the windows for trading from enemy laners, which will make your lanes win even harder. The key to success with this style is to never change it. This style focuses on snowballing off kills and is often suited for mechanically talented junglers. Because of this, it is important to stick to the plan of pressuring enemy champions and not give any breathing room. Once the kills are racked up and the lanes you wanted to win are winning, then it is time for objectives. Weaving objectives in between kills forfeits all the effort you put in before and makes the playing field even. This is very much a psychological war as well, so you want to be relentless. The counter jungler. The main focus of this style is to get yourself ahead of the enemy jungler via counter jungling. It limits the enemy's options and makes their paths predictable and less effective. This style is reliant on self-sufficient lanes and works best versus enemy compositions in which the jungler is extremely important out of laning phase, such as Gragas, Hecarim, Nocturne, essentially delaying the strength of the jungler as they are forced to play catch-up. This style relies on extensive knowledge of pathing, planning, being on top of jungle timers, jungle vision, and managing priorities. The key to success with this approach is to shut down the enemy jungler early and use the windows in which they are catching up to apply pressure to the lanes and objectives to overwhelm the lanes, as they will not receive any help from the jungler. This style's ganks are often best suited as tower dives from the enemy's jungling or zoning from creep waves. The pitfall to this style is that there is a lot to manage. It's tedious, it's hard work, and you have to constantly be thinking and looking for the windows in which you transition your lead into your laners. And then, when you go for objectives, you most likely will have the jungler who is weaker later in the game, and you will be less impactful. The pros of this style, though, is that if you're willing to put in the work of timing all the jungle camps and tracking the enemy's jungler path while keeping an eye on the lanes, it is the most oppressive and hardest to counter of all the styles, as every camp is a point of contest, which demoralizes the opponent and ensures that you always get the first move across the map. Trademark moves are invading every buff, responding to an enemy's gank not with a counter gank on the other side of the map, but with counter jungling and setting your advantage that way. Vision control is critical in choke points to beware the opponent choosing to invade your side as a response to his camps being missing, as well as ganking your lanes. The ganker. The goal of this style is to affect the lanes as much as possible through ganks. This style focuses on creative jungle path and ganking routes to surprise the enemy. Understanding the success rate of all kinds of ganks, as well as what champions are best suited to carry each game, is crucial, as well as how to play around vision and surprise the enemy. This is a selfless style, and often results in the jungler being weaker than his counterpart, while the lanes face the opposite. You must have trust in your laners to carry, and this works best with skill matchups and snowball matchups that need help early, such as assassins and bruisers. This style can be extremely effective, but it does put a lot of responsibility on the laners, as it is ultimately a resource transfer and can be unreliable. The major pitfall with this style is spending too much time to help a lane and falling into a pattern which the enemy catches onto and is there with a counter or just plays safe. You can be vulnerable to heavy counter jungling and being significantly behind the opposing jungler. It is key to remember that this style calls for quality over quantity. One stellar gank is better than 3 mediocre or even decent ganks. The biggest pro is that if lanes know how to use their advantages, you now have multiple people with leads, to which closing out a game is much easier that way. Trademark plays are burning your own flash to take a laner's flash, essentially giving one of your laners pressure for free. Ganking for the purpose of zoning of CS, repeated ganks to one lane, and abusing lanes that do not have summoners. You can also place pink wards to help lanes which you want to camp, or double down vision denial to completely win a lane. This is a great style to really learn about jungling, as it is high interaction and proactivity while being relatively simple and easy to pull off. The Farmer. This style requires little to no attention to anything and emphasizes successful ganks. Only go for ganks that are completely guaranteed and return to farming, as you don't want to deviate from the game plan of getting yourself ahead over anyone else. This is effective with laners that are safe or are aware that they will not be receiving much help from the jungler. It is important to be extremely proficient with the champion you choose, as you will be faced with having to carry most likely laners that have all fallen behind. A pitfall of this style is, of course, lanes losing out of control and complaining and flaming you, but the offset is that you get the instant gratification in carrying, as you are most likely tanky and dishing out tons of damage. This is usually the best style to begin with, as it gives you a lot of time to look at the game and determine where you want to go, as opposed to the others which are much more timing based. This style is least likely to achieve victory versus a jungler who is competent and catches onto your plan, so be wary and make sure you at least ward and defend your lanes. You don't have to help them win, just ensure they don't lose.